This is the little thing about TP24. They break really easily, and what seems to go wrong with them is, I don't know if you can see it on this video because it looks a bit blurry, but basically this little LED here has a blemish on it. Each one of these blobs is a little LED, and when they burn out they get a little blemish and it looks like it's burnt out. So if you take them apart, like this one I've done here, you can see each LED has basically two contacts, and the positive contact of one is connected to the negative contact of the next. They're all connected in a series, and the power for that comes from this little circuit here. So the output of this little circuit is DC, the input is AC, that's alternating current. That's the thing that comes into your house that all your plugs and lights are supplied by. So the aim of this little circuit is to take the AC and turn it into DC. So there's a few things that this circuit does. One of them is, let's go over to the window so we can see it properly. Right, God, it's really blurry. Anyway, there are these little black things here. I'll wipe the lens and see if that improves things. No, not really. So there are these little black things. I'll probably take a photo of them to show you. But they are current rectifiers, or basically big chunky diodes that don't allow current to run in the opposite direction to what it should. With a configuration of 4 of those, you can basically turn AC current into DC current. The problem is that AC current doesn't switch immediately from 240 positive to 240 negative, or 220 these days. It's a sinusoidal wave. Even the cat's complaining about these things. And what that means is that instead of those current rectifiers on their own giving you a smooth DC output, it will give you a lumpy DC output. So there are other things on here, these capacitors and a few resistors, that are on there to try and smooth that out. Now, each of these electronic components will have some tolerance associated with it. And one of the ways you can get your costs down when you're building them is to buy components with lower tolerances. Now, I haven't looked them up for these particular components, but basically if they have done that, then that means that they haven't smoothed out that AC as well as they could have, and that could cause this little burnout because the current will be too high. The other thing is, because these are all in series, the current through each of them is the current required to power all of them, even though the voltage across each of them is only about 5 volts. And that means that you really do need to flatten out that current nicely, because any fluctuation can cause them to burn out. So the other thing is also because they're in series, the LEDs, it means that if one goes, then the whole thing stops working because there's no current running through it, because there's a break in the circuit basically. However, it does not stop at least one of these two capacitors from charging and discharging through a resistor, no less, which means it's still using up electricity even though it's broken. So if you've got a broken one, even if you don't have a replacement for it, remove it, because it's just wasting electricity otherwise. So yeah, they're horrible things because they're badly made and they break, and we've found replacements for them from IKEA for £4 a piece that should last 20 years, and the other videos show you how you can replace them.